Would you take your kids on the road by yourself? You're listening to the RV Life Podcast. I'm Dan Hunt, your host, with my incredible wife, Patti Hunt. And today's guest, that's exactly what she did. She took her 4 teenage kids on the road all by herself. They call it solo camping. But oh my, she's a brave woman.
Yes, she is. Now, Dan and I, for those of you who don't know, have 5 kids and 9 grandkids. And we have been traveling for over 2.5 years without kids for the most part. Our only regret with this whole traveling thing is we wish we had gotten on the road sooner. I think this lifestyle is incredible and would be amazing to do with kids.
I sent you a text today about a couple pretty little puppy dogs we could get.
How do we get from kids to puppies?
I don't know. They were cute. All kids are cute and puppies are cute, and they just came across my screen, and so I sent them to you.
Okay, these puppies are cute. They're up for adoption. I'll put them on our social media. Maybe one of our listeners needs a puppy or wants a puppy, because puppies are a no for me.
Yeah, you know, over 50% of RVers take their puppies with them on the road. Do you take your puppy with you on the road? I think it would be a good thing to reach out to us, and let's start a conversation about traveling with our pets and what great things your pets can do for you and how much work they are when you're out on the road with your pets.
Yes, I'm just not ready for that.
I don't know. We're just such animal people. I love having a pet around, and the pets that we have visiting us always love us. And I don't know. It just seems like a great thing to do is to have a pet. Now that sound means it's time for today's fun fact.
And today's fun fact is brought to you by Open Road Resorts. They have 4 amazing resorts. One of them is right near Dallas. The other 3 are in the northwest-ish. I'm geographically challenged, but Montana, Utah, you tell me. All I know is these campgrounds are amazing. What they have to offer inside the campground as well as the area. I can't wait for us to go.
I can't either. You know, the owner was a guest on the podcast about a month ago, and I can't stop thinking about it. As a kid, I did go there, and I will tell you, that has to be some of the most beautiful country in the world.
You're talking about near Yellowstone, right?
Near Yellowstone,
and again,
yes.
I've never been in that area, but the way Chase was the owner, Chase Becker was the owner, one of the owners of Open Road Resorts, and the way he talks about that area, I just close my eyes and can imagine being there and truly can't wait. But you kind of gave away the fun fact today.
I did. I kind of jumped a little bit ahead, but I have a backup here. In 2021, there were 12,745 overnight stays in our national parks.
Is that 12,000 or 12 million? We're looking at on the screen. So I'm going to, give that away.
12,745,455 overnight stays in national parks.
Wow.
You know, the national park system is working. People are using these national parks, and these treasures of the United States are just incredible. Sometimes you just have to see things with your own eyes to actually believe what they are.
Yes. And I do want to reiterate, you said 54% of RVers take their kids or their pets. So they've kind of mixed them together. I guess it's sort of the same with them when they RV. I would like to take some kids. We do take grandkids sometimes. Want to do that more.
In 2 years, I think we've had 3 or 4 nights with grandkids in the RV.
Yes. They're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah. They're still very, very young. But our guest today, she does exactly that. She got her 4 teenage kids, and they are out and about. They RV. She didn't even know when she started, she didn't even know how to drive the trailer and the truck. She couldn't do it. So she actually talked her husband into driving them to the campgrounds, setting them up, and then going home so he could go back to work, and then letting them stay in the campgrounds for the weekend.
Yes, this is an amazing story. I can't wait to get in and talk to her about all the details, because 4 kids in an RV by yourself, can't even drive it, should be a pretty incredible story to hear about.
Really. And, she doesn't just do it herself. She actually has a community that she put together, and her passion is teaching others through her online course and her community how to do it for themselves. It's just, speaking with her is incredible. You have to stick around for this one, because Christine Schwartz is a very, very special woman.
Yes. And she goes by RV Mama of 4. And can't wait to talk to her and find out all there is to learn about a woman who decided to go in an RV with 4 kids, basically by herself. That should be a cool conversation here.
And we will talk to Christine Schwartz, the RV Mama of 4, right after this.
The most important part of your RV is the roof. If your roof leaks, your trip and your RV get ruined. You can take it to a dealership or service center to be maintained at their expense. You can maintain it yourself over a weekend for a fraction of the cost. Liquid Rubber RV roof products will keep you dry and leak-free. Visit shopliquidrubber.com/RVLife. Use coupon code RVLifePod15 off to save 15%. That's shopliquidrubber.com/RVLife.
National Indoor RV Centers, with over 1,000 motorhomes available across multiple locations. National Indoor RV Centers continues to provide an outstanding, hassle-free motorhome ownership experience. National Indoor is the #1 Newmar dealer in the nation, and also features brands like Integra, Winnebago, and much more. Visit NIRVC.com and become a part of the National Indoor RV Centers family.
This is the RV Life Podcast. I'm Dan Hunt with my incredible wife, Patti Hunt. And today's guest, well, she had a dream. She has 4 kids and she's a lawyer. She has a husband who hated the idea of RVing, yet was extremely supportive, driving her, the kids, and the camper to campsites around the state of Colorado, setting them up, and then heading back to civilization where he worked, leaving her and the kids to make the memories of a lifetime. She is a serial promoter, and her story was featured on Fox 26 News in Houston just last week.
Today's guest is RV Mama of 4, Christine Schwartz. Welcome to the RV Life Podcast.
Okay, Christine.
Thank you so much.
Let's talk about that first day that you sat down on the kitchen table with the kids and the husband and said, I really would like to go RVing. My sister just bought an RV for $150 a month, and it's been my lifelong dream, so we're going to do this. Who's in? How'd that work out for you?
Well, oddly enough, it worked out pretty well. I don't think my husband knew that he didn't really care for camping that much yet. I grew up tent camping and he hadn't. But we ended up going out that next weekend, and I picked out an RV that we called Breakdown Betsy after we bought it. And he did, just as you mentioned, take me up an hour away all over different places in Colorado so that we could make memories with the kids. And then he decided, I'm out. Every week it was the same excuse. I got to work. But I loved every minute of it. And here I am 8.5 years later, still doing it all on my own now.
And now you started traveling with 4 kids. First of all, how old were they when you started?
Well, it's been about 8.5 years, and my oldest is 18 now. So I would say right now my kids are 10, 13, 16, and 18. So subtract 8 years, all my math friendly people out there. And they were just youngins. They loved every minute of doing this, and they still do.
So they were, quick math here, from 2 to 10 years old, the 4 of them. I'm not going to do big time math. And they did all love it. They were all on board. Nobody wanted to stay home with daddy.
No, they were all on board. They all took after me in that regard, I guess. But yeah, they still, just since I've been in Texas this week to go on the news and to teach other people how to RV, both of my older kids have messaged me, Mom, when are you coming back? We want to go on a trip. Where are we going? Mom, can we go to Maine? They always pick like the farthest places possible, of course.
That's fun.
Well, we are considering summering in Maine this year, so maybe we could meet you up there and have some fun, because one of the things about this lifestyle is that you can do things that like that, like say, well, we're going to summer in Maine or winter in Florida. That's what we did last year, is we wintered in Florida and had a great time. Christine, let's talk about some of the little things in life. You know, Patti just has a conniption fit. She absolutely loves it when we pull into an RV park that has a great laundry room. And we don't have 4 kids with us. We only have 1. That's me. So how does it feel when you pull into an RV park that has this incredible laundry room and you can go in and get all your laundry done from all of the bodies that are in this camper with you?
It's so funny that you bring that up, because I have 2 laundry stories. I'll make them quick. But one, whenever I go into a laundromat, I always check, first of all, to make sure there's at least 5 washers available. Because one of the reasons I RV is because I don't want to do chores. I don't want to clean. I got to keep it to the minimum. So by the time I do laundry, I need about 5 washers. So we were in California. All 5 were open and the laundromat was right next to the pool. I thought, perfect. Got my laundry, put it in, jumped in the pool, swam with the kids, jumped out every 30 minutes, popped it in the dryer. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to bring this pool and laundry is going so well. I'm just going to go bring dinner down. So I go over, I always keep a wagon in my RV. Don't ask me why I put spaghetti in the wagon, but I made spaghetti while the laundry's cooking, while the kids or laundry's going, the kids are, swimming. And I came back with a wagon with a huge platter with my spaghetti. So I accomplished dinner, memories with the kids, and laundry all in one bout. So that is funny that you asked that question, Dan. And the second story I was going to tell you was we actually just bought I'm currently sitting in my 35-foot fifth wheel here on the side of the road with good Wi-Fi in front of Starbucks and McDonald's. But I also just bought a 45-foot fifth wheel. And we purchased a washer and dryer to go in that garage. It's blue, it's pretty, and we returned it before we even installed it because the kid said, Mama, where are we going to put our clothes? Well, one of the things about a fifth wheel in the garage is there's no dresser. It's meant for ATVs. And so I thought, all right, washer and dryer or clothes. I guess you guys win. So we returned the blue washer dryer before we ever even installed it. So laundromat and camping, it's going to be for me for a while.
You know, we have a 20-year-old Class A diesel pusher with a washer and dryer inside of it that has never been used. It still had the original tags on it. And for some reason,
bring it my way.
Patti just doesn't feel comfortable with using that washer dryer. Well,
let's talk about laundry. I do have to say that is a mama moment for sure, to be able to do laundry, swim with the kids, and do dinner. Really a great moment. But for most of us, laundry is a little more complicated. And even with the 2 of us, it's like you said, by the time I get to the laundry, there's 4 or 5 loads, and we don't have any kids with us. So, it's great to be able to make those moments a little more fun, a little more enjoyable. But since you brought something up that sounded really awesome, tell us about one of those moments that didn't go so well.
So I'll take you back to the very first year after Mike was driving me back and forth to the campground. I thought, one, I feel a little guilty that he's not getting to make all these memories with us. And 2, I really want to go travel outside of the state. So I thought, I better pull my big girl panties up and learn how to do this. And so for Mother's Day, I got the best gift you could ever ask for. 2 pages of laminated checklists, how to hook up and unhook up the RV and how to set up and tear down camp. And for 4.5 years, those were like my Bible. I kept them outside in storage and I used them every time. And so the first summer I thought, oh yeah, I've got this. And so we headed out west to go chase my daughter's dance scholarship in California. And our first stop was in Vegas. She had a scholarship there too, but we didn't make it to Vegas, Patty. I don't know if you've ever traveled to Utah. It's one of the most beautiful states out there, but their mountains are brutal, and so is their heat. It was Labor Day weekend, and we were headed out. It was like 103 degrees at 9 in the morning. I got me a brand new truck, but it was an F-150. They told me would pull my trailer. First mistake. Don't listen to the dealer. Do your own research. It worked in Houston, but not Utah. And all of a sudden, life is good. And all of a sudden, my truck starts flashing power, failure, power, failure. I didn't even know there was such a code on the truck, Patty. I was like, what is that? So I panicked, of course. I've gotten much better at not panicking. This weekend when I had some repairs that needed to be done, I didn't panic. So I'm like, look, I've come so far in 8 years. But that was my first time ever. So I panicked and we pulled off the road. And the only thing on that exit was Camel Safari. So my daughter's calling Camel Safari, trying to get help. And they answer finally after the 5th time. And they said, ma'am, we don't open until October. We're just here feeding the camels. And my daughter said, I don't care. You need to come help me and my mom and my brothers. We're stranded on the side of the road. So they said, okay, we're going to turn your day around. We're going to give you a whole Jeep tour of the camels and we'll come rescue you. So Patty, they met us in the middle of nowhere. I swear I was having mirages or whatever they call it. I mean, it was so hot and I couldn't start the truck because it was, power failure. And so we give them the once over. I'm like, yep, they look safe. Hop in the car, kids. I always tell them, do as I say, not as I do. But we had no option. And so we got in the car and they gave the kids a whole tour. I don't remember a single camel because all I could think about was, I hope nobody takes my bikes and my RV. But you know what? I always say we have camping angels because we've had many experiences like that and you learn from them, you grow from them. And I think RVing is about 99% mindset. If you want to live this lifestyle and you want to make these memories, if you are convinced that you can do it, you can do it.
Yes, living this life is probably one of the greatest things that Patty and I have ever done. I have got to do things and see things that I just never thought I would be able to do again. And we just love every single second of this lifestyle. Now, you talked about camping angels. Do the camping angels apply to the family as well? We were talking about the little things earlier. Privacy. You have 3 teenagers and a 1 almost teenager, which is almost worse than a teenager, the almost teenagers. And privacy must be a big deal for them. You have 3 boys and a girl, I think, and yourself. How have you worked that part of your lifestyle out?
So Dan, that's going to be something that's in the works. We'll have to do a part 2 to fully answer that question. But in the 35-foot that we have, we actually are really lucky. We have a bunkhouse and I have a door on the master bedroom and it's just me usually because my husband he complains about the pillows, the mattress, all the above. So it's usually just me and the master. And then in the bunkhouse, the boys sleep back there. And they each have a set bunk bed. One of the beds converts to a table. It has a dresser. It's fabulous. I love this RV. And then in the front, we have a sofa and a dinette, both pull out into a bed. So my daughter always takes the sofa. And even though she's 16 now, it hasn't been a big deal because the boys go to the back, shut the doors. She's out here. But we have actually just made a huge life decision. So we have a 4,200 square foot house in the golf course community that many people would think is the American dream. But it's not my American dream because to me, it's just a lot of clutter and cleaning and chaos and piles. And as I stated earlier, I don't love chores. I want to get out and do things with my kids. So somehow, and don't ask me how because I don't know, but my husband has agreed to go full-time RV living. So we're actually having an estate sale right now as we speak. I'm on the side of the road in Texas, making my way back to Denver after having been on the news and Mike is working. But when I get back, we are going to get our 45-foot set up to live in. And so privacy is going to be a little bit different in that. That'll be yet to be seen. But in the 35-foot, we lucked out. We have a bunkhouse and my daughter likes staying in the living room.
Wow, that is a incredible story of how you've managed, and now you're full time, you're all in, husband's on board. What would you say a key? Tell our listeners, what do you think a key to success with you and 4 kids getting along, making things work? And we all know nothing's perfect. And in addition now to having your husband there, so what would you say a key to success is for 6 people in a 45-foot RV, no matter what the size is?
That's funny that you asked that, because my mom says, aren't you going to kill each other? I hope not, Mom. I have a friend. I went full timing for 3 months during COVID, just the kids and I, literally in the middle of nowhere, Patty. We went Segway riding, UTV riding. Like, we were so remote. People would think we're violating the rules, but we weren't. We were in the hillbilly ranges, and we went off-roading every day. And we met these camping neighbors that are full-time across from us, Melanie and John, and they have been an inspiration to me because they also sold their 4,000 square foot house and their horse barn too, which was her whole job. She was a horse trainer. And she said to me, I said, did you guys, like, how does that work? They only have 2 people that their kids are grown. And she said, I tell you what, she said, I have never been closer to my husband in all my life. She said, there is something about this lifestyle and being on the road and taking away the pressure of mowing the lawn and, pest control and cleaning the house and all the errands, and just getting out there and seeing things, just like Dan described, that you would never be able to see, even if you're staying in a hotel, because when you're in a hotel, you're not in that mindset. Yesterday I was just looking at waterfalls and turtles while I'm stranded waiting for RV repairs, wishing my kids were there. It was beautiful. I never would have stepped out if I wasn't, in my RV.
That's incredible. And again, I think there are a lot of how-tos. We actually did a podcast on how to live in a small space, basically without killing each other. But it's interesting that you say that. Dan and I also, we went from a 3,500 square foot house, pool and hot tub, the whole 9 yards, to our 2002 Monaco. I'm not sure how many square feet it is, but it doesn't matter. And I'll tell you, there were some adjustments, I'm not going to lie. But now when things feel tense and uptight, you walk outside to a beautiful view. The funny thing is right now we are in a very large house. We've been here in Virginia taking care of my mother, and I feel more tension here in this house than we do when we're out. And I do think part of it is getting out, enjoying the view, being out in nature. All of that, I think, really contributes to, the mindset, the peace, the not thinking about all of the other stuff, the cleaning and all of that stuff. So I do think this is a great, great lifestyle. Now, again, talking about tips, you really tried to help other mamas with RVing. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I am so passionate about sharing with others that they can learn to RV at any age or stage in life. I have had more people ask me, friends, people I don't know, I really want to do what you're doing, but I could never do it. You guys, I am nothing special. I lived in New York City and worked at a law firm and had fancy clothes and heels. Now you'll rarely find me out of flip-flops. But it's all about mindset, because things are going to go wrong. Like right now, I was so determined to be on this podcast. I told the people fixing my RV, look, I might be like in there as you have this raised up if you don't get it done in time. And they were so amazing to me. And they had it done and ready to go. And I just feel like if you are willing to accept that nothing in life is ever perfect, just like you described. Even in a house, your car could break down. You could run out of gas, so many things. It's not going to be perfect, but it gives you an opportunity to just explore the world and make memories that you wouldn't otherwise be able to make. So I have a business now called the RV Mama of 4, and I teach people how to RV. It's an online membership community, and we do Zoom meetings once a week. And we have a topic each week, and people ask me RV related questions, and we help them. Just last week, we did a meeting on the RV Life Trip Wizard app, teaching people how to plan their trip, and what a great app that is so that they can make that piece of their journey easier. And it's very reasonable. It's only $29.99 a month, and you have access to me, my courses, my videos, and a community. So I'm passionate about it, Patty, because I want everybody that has this dream to know that it's attainable.
You know, Christine, you said earlier that you got the best Mother's Day present ever, and it was a checklist off of a plastic sheet that could be erased. You must have been a pretty cheap date in college, huh?
Well, my second best gift was my second AC in my RV, and that one was over $2,000. So that was a little more expensive than the chocolate and roses. So I guess I made up for it later in life. But I actually am running my generator right now and running my AC, so it's getting its use.
Well, now that you're a media superstar appearing in Houston on Fox 26 News, and I think you were on somebody's show in Dallas as well, not to mention the International RV Life podcast. What's next for the RV Mama? You seem like you got it all. Where are we going from here, girl?
Well, as soon as I get home on Wednesday, I'm headed up to Granby, Colorado to meet some other fellow RV YouTubers and content creators and just RV aficionados. And I can't wait. I'm bringing my kids with me. And then after that, we're going to Zion Canyon and Bryce Canyon. I'd actually had that booked during COVID, and my kids decided they wanted to go to the first day of school. Mind you, this is a homeschool co-op. I'm like, you guys, you don't need to be there the first day. And they insisted. And my mom said, Christine, just let them go. You can always go back to Zion and Bryce. So here we are 2 years later, revisiting the trip that I had to completely cancel for the first day of school. And I'm excited. We're going to go sand duning and all kinds of fun things. And Dan, I have 2 weeks open. I have everything kind of figured out, although I change it nonstop, all the way through next June. But I have 2 weeks open, and I need some ideas of where to go. So I would love to hear from viewers or you or anybody. Where can I fill my 2 weeks?
Well, we call it our current thought where we're going next, because we, like you, change every 2 minutes. Somebody calls and says, well, would you come and be on this, or would you come and do this, or come do this? And so we call it our current thought now. But right now, our current thought is to go to break to pay some of the bills. And after the break, we're going to talk about the RV Mama giveaway. We're going to talk about some of the hard stuff. We're going to talk about water pressure in an RV with 4 teenagers. Oh my God, that sounds terrible. And we're going to do all of that right after this.
When traveling in your RV, how do you navigate? Do you use a paper map, a GPS, or do you use Google Maps? Our sponsor, RV Trip Wizard, has the solution, and it just works.
It just works. RV Life Trip Wizard, we do not move our RV one single solitary inch without putting it into RV Trip Wizard first.
And I know, Christine, for you, you just did a recording or a meeting. I guess you do an online meeting. That's what it is. And you were teaching people about trip planning. And that is just so important. So how did that, it's a virtual class, I guess it is. How did that class go?
It went so great. Honestly, Patti, that's my number one question for women. I have both women and men in my group, but for women, oftentimes the trip planning will fall on them. Not always, but they want to know, how do I get from the art museum in Kentucky to my, conference in South Carolina with, and know that I'm not going to run into a tunnel or a bridge along the way. And so that's one of the things that I love about this app. Is that you put in the height and width of your RV before you even start planning, because that is important. I actually had a situation in Colorado. Sometimes Colorado is like Utah, where you can get in the middle of the boondocks. And this is before I got the Trip Planning Wizard app. And this is why I got it, because I was just using one of the good old Googles. And I got myself into a situation where we were in the middle of nowhere with no Wi-Fi, and in the Arapahoe National Forest, alone, hadn't seen the car in an hour. And all of a sudden there's a tunnel and it says 12 feet. And I thought, oh my gosh, my trailer is 11 feet, 6 inches. If anybody's estimating, we're in trouble. But Patti, they weren't estimating. Thank goodness I made it through. I had my kids run up ahead to see what was on the other side of the tunnel, because we hadn't seen cars in forever. But that's one of the great things about this app, is you're not going to get yourself stuck in a situation like that. And you can download everything so that you're not dependent on Wi-Fi. So both of those would have been stress savers in my situation 2 years ago.
Absolutely. And so what I'm hearing you say is instead of having RV Trip Wizard, you had kids that you sent out on the road to make sure the RV would go through. Okay, let's not do that. And since Dan and I don't have kids that could help us with that, we do use RV Trip Wizard. It is great.
I'll tell you what, if you're planning on going to the Hershey RV Super Show, which is coming up, Patty, what are the dates of that?
The dates are September 13th to September 17th.
Now, Patty and I have been named the feature speakers for that show. And every single day we will be giving a lecture on RV Trip Wizard and planning your trip. Now, when we do our planning, we make it a party. Patty gets her candy and chocolate, and we get some drinks, and we set up in front of a computer. We also have our cell phones with us, and we make an evening out of it and just have fun. And we really go out and plan our trip wherever it is we happen to be going. This winter, along with you, or this summer, along with you, I think we're thinking about going up to Maine.
Right.
And summering in Maine.
So as we're talking about trip planning, it's just Dan and I. And for some, this is a very stressful time is trying to plan. But like Dan said, we've really enjoyed it. Christine, tell us a little bit about how you plan with your 4 kids. Obviously, they had some say in Zion or going to the first day of school. So how does planning work for you guys?
So you're going to get a kick out of this, but my 10-year-old is my trip planner. I even called him from Houston and said, Caden, go find me somewhere to stay on my way to Dallas. And so I can do it, but it takes time, like you said, and I love that you make it a party. I love that. But I'm always the one driving and cooking and doing all the things, the laundry. And so the trip planning, often I'm exhausted or driving. And so my 10-year-old actually will download maps. He downloads all kinds of maps. And I showed him, he's got the RV Life Trip Wizard now too. And he will find me a campground based on wherever I tell him I'm going. I said, I'm going to the Fox 26 News in Dallas and the Jeff Burley Show in Houston, or I flipped those in Houston. And he not only planned my trip, he booked my campsite, and he called them and paid. So when I got there, they always comment, "Oh, are you the one with that little boy that plans your trips?" So it's kind of our joke. The one time that I took over because I told him he had to go to bed and he was mad he wouldn't do my trip planning, I actually went backwards. I was trying to go to Denver and I went towards Kansas. So when I have time like you guys do, and when you're doing your party planning, I do sit down and use the app and plan everything out in that regard. But we change a lot. I'm stealing that RV thought, because as fast as I book something, I get enticed by where everybody else is going. So when you said Maine, I might meet you up there in Maine because I want to go there in August.
Yes, that sounds great. Exactly when we want to be there. And from what I'm hearing, RV Trip Wizard, even a 10-year-old could do it. So that's what I'm hearing. Now, what is your next big thing? I know we talked a little bit, but what is the next big thing you're looking to do to plan?
So I actually, when I get back, one of the biggest things that we need to figure out is we've gone through and downsized everything in our house to get ready for this big move. And I left for Texas the exact same day we moved out. So our 45-foot fifth wheel currently is a pile of stuff. And so I said to my husband, when are we going to be able to get ready to move in? Because I'm going up to Granby the day I get back, and then we're going here and there. He's like, I don't know. You figured out I'm staying at my mom's. Oh, wow. So until I get that set up, he's not sweating it. He's fine where he's at. But yeah, that's going to be my next thing. And then I really also want to go to Oregon and Washington. They're the only states in the entire West that I have never been to. So they're on my bucket list, Patty. I'm coming for them.
We actually spent last winter in Oregon and Washington.
Actually, the summer.
No, it was into the winter. It was snowing, remember?
Yes, it was very early because you don't want to be, well, I don't want to be there in the winter. But yes, it did snow. Yeah. It was like a half an inch. I woke up in the morning. I said, okay, time to get out of town. It got very cold very, very quickly. We stayed at a Harvest Host there. And if you listen to our podcast religiously, which I know most of you do, you heard last week we had
The marketing brand manager from Harvest Host was our guest last week on the RV Life podcast, but we talked about going up into Maine and going up into Washington and Bend, Oregon, where my son lives and two of our grandkids live. We just had the greatest time in the world up there. We spent a whole day where we took a canoe and a couple paddle boards and we just floated down a river, and it took the whole day to get down this river.
It was very cool. And for you, Christine, and our listeners, you could check out some of the video on our YouTube channel, Exploring Through Our Lens. We did video up in that area. It is amazing up there. I highly recommend it.
Lava Land was one of the videos that we shot when we were up there, and it's on Exploring Through Our Lens, our YouTube channel. Very interesting video, that one, because it was shot by our 7-year-old grandson. So it was an interesting day. Yes. Just like this conversation we're having right now with Christine Schwartz, the RV Mama, and we will be back with more right after this on the RV Life podcast.
Protecting your RV investment means being ready for anything. An extended RV warranty from Wholesale Warranties is the best way to make sure that if an RV failure happens, you can afford to get back to enjoying the RV life as soon as possible. RV warranties are available for motorhomes, fifth wheels, and travel trailers, new and used, across the U.S. Visit wholesalewarranties.com for a free personalized RV warranty quote today and hit the road with peace of mind tomorrow.
Does dropping your motor coach off at the truck stop full of semi-trailers for new tires give you nightmares? Eliminate the unknown and get your new motorhome tires mounted while you watch at your campsite or wherever you are parked. Motorhometires.com takes care of the entire process for you. We come to you with your new tires, mount them, add balance beads, and we even dispose of your old tires. With motorhometires.com, you'll also enjoy great prices and new tires with guaranteed fresh date codes, and enjoy sweet dreams instead of truck stop nightmares with your friends at motorhometires.com.
We are so happy to be a part of the National Indoor RV Centers family. Brett, Angie, Chuck, the whole gang over there. We just love them. Our RV, I can say that, I talk for a living. Our RV is actually parked at the Manassas or Washington, D.C. and IRVC right now. And that's where we had a lot of the upgrades put in. We just put a new floor in. We put new couches in. We're fixing up our refrigerator and new batteries. We're just redoing the whole 9 yards, and we just love National Indoor. We love the way that they do business. We love their concept. And I said in that commercial that they're the #1 Newmar dealer in the country. Well, they're also the #1 Integra dealer in the country. And just incredible people to do business with, an incredible approach to RVing. You can actually take your RV there and leave it there while you're not using it if you live in the vicinity of one of the National Indoor facilities. It's kind of like the marina concept. Just a great concept and great people. They love what they do and they love their customers. So we really, really enjoy working with National Indoor. We are talking right now with Christine Schwartz. She is the RV Mama of 4. Christine, are your kids having a good time? Are they liking your decision to take them RVing and take them out of school and do remote schooling and all of that kind of stuff? Let's talk about that a little bit. Are they having a good time? Do they enjoy it as much as you and I do?
They do, Dan. My 16-year-old is now getting more into the high school social scene. So if she's not available, I just take the boys who are. But she's the one that just messaged me and said, Mom, I got to get out of here. Let's go on an RV trip. Where can we go? Just yesterday. So I know that she still loves it too. And I have to tell you, one of our most favorite trips we ever did was Glacier National Park. And I will never forget this picture of in my head and on my phone of these 4 kids standing there with this blue water that looks like Hawaii in Montana, so close to Canada that my phone said, "Welcome to Canada," jumping off of rocks because we just watched other people do it. So we made sure they were fine. And then we did it too. And just them looking back and look, the look on their face was priceless. And they loved that trip so much, Dan, that we weren't in the park but 10 minutes. And the kids were taking turns sticking their head out the sunroof, which I know you're not supposed to do that. But I'm trying to drive and telling them to sit down. And all of a sudden there's sirens behind me. And I thought, oh, no. And so the police officer comes over and he goes, "Ma'am, I know you're only going 5 miles an hour, but you know, you got kids with their head out the sunroof." I said, "I know, I'm so sorry. We couldn't help it." I was like, "This is like heaven." And so he started laughing and he's like, okay. He goes, "Well, you got to be careful of bears." He goes, "I know there's not much traffic to worry about." He's like, "But if a bear runs in front of you, you might have to slam on your brakes." And so whenever I think and hear that question of do the kids love it, I cannot get that image of their face turned around in this blue water jumping off cliffs. And I know how much they love doing it.
And I think that's what RVing is really all about. It's those memories. We all could talk about the things that happen, the breaking down. You know, today you had an RV repair issue. We have black tank issues people like to talk about all the time. Yes, there are things that happen, but I think the memories, like what you're talking about, so outweighs all of that stuff that certainly for Dan and I, it's worth it. And it sounds like for your family, we're going to want to hear what your husband thinks. So we're going to talk again in about a month or so and get an update on what he thinks.
I think during this summer, I want to have your kids on as a follow-up guest and see how they're loving this lifestyle as much as you are.
Yes, Dan, I think that would be a great idea because they know in the past for the last 8 years, we travel the whole summer. Last year, the summer extended from July to October. And then, like I told you, during COVID, we went full time 3 months beforehand. And so our summers are long and the kids love it, but they know they'll always be back in time for dance and baseball. And they still will be. They're very heavily into their sports. And so I wanted this to be fun for them. So we're going to travel all summer. Maybe we'll come meet you in Maine in August. I want to go to Williamsburg homeschool days in Hershey in September. But homeschooling allows us to do that on the road. And so I think it would be a really neat opportunity, to find out the difference between knowing you have a home to go back to and full timing.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. And am living that every day myself. I sometimes, Patti, before we left, was a full-time high school science teacher. And I know that she misses the kids and I know she misses getting up every morning and going to school. But I got to tell you, the education that we and all the kids that live this full-time lifestyle on the road are getting each and every day, just being out there and doing it is way different. Now, we all need help, though. As we are out on the road, we all need help. And right now, it is time for the RV Life Pro Tip of the Week with Patrick Buchanan.
Once you have your basic route picked out in RV Life Trip Wizard and have secured your campgrounds, it's time to add all those other stops you want to make. At this point, you don't need those campground icons filling up your map and getting in the way. You can easily toggle the campgrounds off by clicking the small tent icon in the upper right-hand corner. This makes it easier to focus on adding fuel stops, rest stops, places to eat or things to see, anything you wish to add to your trip. Just don't forget to click it again if you need to see more campgrounds. For RV Life, I'm Pat Buchanan.
Thank you so much, Patrick. It is great every week how we get a new tip of the week and just learn more and more about RV Trip Wizard and their suite of products. They are amazing. But talking about learning, Christine, you did share with us in the interview section how much you love to share your knowledge. Can you just talk again a little bit about your community? I think you say classes, courses, and community. Is that the saying?
Yeah, so I do Basically, we have a Zoom call every week where we have a certain topic that we talk about, and then people ask RV related questions. They also have access to me. So say they're at the campground and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't remember how to hook up my water, or, my air conditioner is not starting, or it's saying Celsius instead of Fahrenheit. Is it broke? No, that happens all the time. But they have access to me, text message box or Facebook Messenger, whatever works best. And I've also created a class. It's still in the works. I'm adding to it all the time, but there are courses once they join the membership that they can go in and they can look up, do I rent or do I buy? What is the difference between a Class A, a Class B, and a Class C or a bumper pool? What are all these things? How do I hook up at the campground? And so they can just go in and they can watch videos. And it's funny because Dan said that your 7-year-old grandson did your videoing. I have an 18-year-old that videos, and my 10-year-old, he's very useful for many things. He videos as well. And since my 10-year-old knows more about RVing than any of the kids. He's the one that helps me back up into storage when we get home at 10 o'clock at night. He directs me in. He knows how to do everything but drive the truck. He even does the sewer. So he can monitor those videos and he'll tell people what I'm doing. And so it's just a way for me to be able to help people not have to experience all the things that I'm sure you guys experienced at first as well. All the newbie mistakes. Don't back up with your stabilizers down. How do you get in and out of a gas station and not take off your tail end? There's so many things that seem overwhelming, but when you have somebody here to support you, guide you, and it's available to you, you eliminate years of mistakes and money and dollars off of your life, and you can just get out and make those memories now.
Yes. And you know what? Everybody needs some help with this. Everything doesn't have to be learned the hard way. So, Christine, share how people can get to you and find out everything.
Sure. So my website is the RV Mama, MAMAOF, the number 4. And we'll get that written for you as well, but RVMamaOf4.com. You can find me on all social media, the RV Mama of 4. I have a YouTube channel. And I also have a Facebook group that you can join. Okay. And we're actually... Go ahead.
Oh.
That sound means it's time for our question of the week here on the RV Life podcast. This week's question came from Facebook. Jim K. somewhere in the great state of New York. Are there RV groups specifically for people with kids? Yes, Jim, there's a group called Full-Time Families, and they specifically are RVers with kids and families. They are a wonderful group. We know a lot of the people that run that group. We have had them on the RV Life podcast, so it is definitely out there. You also have groups like the RV Mama of 4, who helps people with kids. I'm sure she takes kid questions all the time, seeing that she's got a plethora of children on the road with her. So yes, Jim, they are our places. And Christine, do you have anything to add to Jim's question here?
I do. Another option, and that's a great one that you brought up, Dan. Thousand Trails is very family friendly. We actually loved them when we were in Texas. I think we got 35 nights of camping, and we used all 35 nights. And they offer it at such a great discount for the year. And they're very flexible. They offer a lot of activities. So we used to go to Lake Conroe in Texas, and we knew everybody on that Thousand Trails staff. We knew the maintenance guy. He'd come over for dinner on his golf cart. We always had extra food. We knew the activities coordinator. We'd be sharing some of our homeschool crafts with her to use. And it just became this community where people watched out for us. And I have found that throughout. People ask me all the time about safety, but I will say the RVing community is like when I grew up. I'm in my mid-40s, where your parents sent you off to go bike ride and be home before dark. That's what the RVing community is like. I cannot tell you how many people have helped me out on the road because I don't have enough hands and toes to add them all up. People that have fixed leaks, taught me things about, why is my air conditioner not turning on, breakers that have flipped. And I've learned from all that. And so now we're in the stage where people are actually asking me for help at campgrounds. People that are renting, men, women, they don't understand, they don't know how to do this, and we'll go over and help them. And so it's just been an amazing opportunity. And so between really just having a helpful RVing community, no matter wherever you go, the Full-Time Families and the Thousand Trails, I think those are great options for kids.
Absolutely. And Dan and I are also part of 1,000 Trails. We're not part of full-time families because while we travel with some of our grandkids, we are not part of that group, but we often see full-time families in a lot of the 1,000 Trails campgrounds we go to. Now, Dan and I have done video on 1,000 Trails. There's a lot of information and misinformation out there. Our big suggestion is if you want to know anything about 1,000 Trails, reach out to our reps, Jim and Brandy Renault. They have been so supportive and so helpful. They are sales reps, but there is no salesy. We were able to figure out what was right for us, what worked best for us, and it has really saved us. I mean, it has allowed Dan and I to be on the road full time, especially when money was tight. I mean, I'll be just totally transparent and honest. So since Christine brought that up, I just want to share that. I will put Christine's website in the show notes. I'll put Jim and Brandy's information. I'll put the phone number in the show notes, as well as anything else we talked about on the show today. Just want to make sure people listening in their car or on their bike ride will have all that information.
That's right. It will be in the show notes. And to get a hold of Jim and Brandy, it's very easy. I put together a little Google Docs form asking a couple questions just to get them into the idea of what kind of camper you are so they can have information ready for the phone call when they do call you. One of the things that Patti and I actually love about Jim and Brandy, and now they're in Colorado right now. They're in a campground in Colorado right now. What's the name
I think it's called Blue Mesa. If I'm not
Mesa, yeah.
Mesa,
it's brand
that's
new,
what it is. Yes.
Brand new 1,000 Trails campground. It's in Colorado. But they're not salesy. I mean, when we called them, he didn't push. He's like, I want to get what's the best for you. I want to get the best membership that'll work for you and your family. And that's exactly what we did. They have become personal friends of ours. We've gone camping with them. We've spent weekends with them down at the beach in Savannah, Georgia. Just incredible people. And we do love the 1,000 Trail system. Like you said, Christine, I mean, I'm in my 60s, so you know, when I was a kid and went camping and you went to a campground, there were all kinds of things going on all the time. And that kind of stopped, especially during COVID. All of that kind of went away. Well, it's starting to come back. You're seeing the potluck dinners again. You're seeing the bingo nights again. You're seeing getting together and having great big campfires and talking or singing around the campfire. And that's what I love about 1,000 Trails, along with the fact that every time we book 1,000 Trails park, so we'll book and you say you'll get an email that says you are confirmed for 3 nights at wherever. Give me the name of a campground, Orlando. You're booked for 3 nights straight. Your cost, $0.
Yes, that is the nice
We
part.
love that.
That is a nice part of it. I want to talk a little bit about zero cost for something, and that's the free giveaway. So, Christine, I know we're coming to the end of our time, but can you share the giveaway with our listeners? And I know there's only a couple days left for people to sign up, so share that with them.
Now, let's not make things difficult here. There are 2 giveaways going on. One is Christine's giveaway. And Christine, you're going to talk about that right now. And then after you're done with that, we're going to talk about the RV Life podcast giveaway, because June is giveaway month here on the RV Life podcast. And we're trying to give away anything that we can. So we have a glamping package that we're giving away. You're giving away a camping package, Christine. So you're giving away that. So why don't you tell us about your package first and how you can sign up for that? And then we'll talk about our package as well.
Will do. This is definitely giveaway month, you guys, and don't delay because you don't want to miss out on being the lucky winner. So actually, we are so blessed to have the RV Life is actually one of our sponsors for our giveaway. And it is a camping package worth almost $399. We have a Blackstone tabletop grill. We have a 3-year subscription to the RV Life Trip Wizard app, which is awesome. And if you already have the RV Life Trip Wizard app, that membership will add on to whatever you already have. And then on top of that, we have a hiking backpack. And so we are just excited to be able to share that. You can find it at my website, the RVMamaOf4.com. There's a giveaway tab, or you can go to the RVMamaOf4giveaway.com, either place. But the live drawing will be June 30th, so don't delay.
That is awesome. Now, there's a lot of things for people to do today. The next thing after you sign up for that giveaway, you want to sign up for the RV Life podcast and Luxury in the Outdoors, Lido for short. This June glamping giveaway includes, and I'm going to read this because it includes so many incredible things. It includes one gorgeous Lido outdoor tablecloth. I love my Lido tablecloth. It is bright. It is thick. It cleans well.
Me too. I love it too.
It doesn't blow away. Dan loves it too. It's very colorful, the one I chose. And I'm not done. You're also going to get 2 Lido wine tumblers. And these are fantastic because the lids are leak proof. I hate when those lids leak all over the place. They keep our drinks cold for a long time. And what's really cool and exciting, and if you go to our social media, and I'll tell you where that is, you could see the dog leash and dog collar that lights up. This is a nice bright collar, so there's no more tripping over a leash when you walk out of your RV. There's one beautiful solar lantern and a 1-year membership to RV Trip Wizard. And again, if you're already an RV Trip Wizard member, you'll get a year added on. You'll also get 2 RV Life Podcast t-shirts and 2 RV Life Podcast mugs. I'm running out of breath because there's so much stuff here. This is a package valued at over $400. Yes, there you go. It is done June 30th. So you only have a couple of days. Get signed up. I know sometimes for these giveaways, I say, oh, I'll do it later. You only have 2 days. Get signed up for both of these giveaways. But we have one more thing to talk about. We talked a little bit about Hershey, and I just have to share a little more. The Hershey RV event. It is a super show, and it's going to be September 13th to September 17th. You want to book your campground, you want to sign up, but RV Life is also doing an event on September 14th from 6 to 10. Now, this event will be off campus at a place called Inglewood. We were there last year. It's an amazing venue. You could get signed up. I'll put all the information in the show notes. It's called the RV Life Live event. Dan and I will be hosting. Border Hookups, if you've never heard them, will be performing. They're fantastic. Kids are under 12 are free, and you get food, drink, and entertainment, and thousands of dollars worth of giveaways. I mean, literally thousands, all for $15 a person. I think I'm out of breath now. Everybody's got lots to do.
I'll tell you what, one of our sponsors, Kraken Adventure Bikes, they are actually giving away an e-bike, and I get to give it away at that event. I am so excited about that. Somebody is going to drive out of there with a brand new e-bike. It's white. I have it in my RV already. I have it for you. And it is time for you to take it with you. So you're going to want to come to this event. It is going to be sold out. There is only limited space. We will not be opening spots for people. So you want to get your tickets as early as you possibly can. If you have kids under 12, they are free. They can come and eat on me. And we're going to have a great time all night. But we do have a lot of great giveaways to give away and all that kind of stuff.
And Christine said they're going to be there. So I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. And thank you, Christine, for being on the RV Life podcast.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure, and I would love to meet you in person too. I feel like I already know you. It was just so much fun to share with other people that have a similar passion, to get others on the road and share what that life can be like.
Well, we will be staying, and I don't normally tell people where we're staying, but we will be staying at the Thousand Trails in Hershey.
Hershey Thousand Trails.
It's called the Hershey Thousand Trails.
Yes.
We're staying at the Hershey Thousand Trails. We stayed there last year, had a great time, just a beautiful, beautiful facility, an incredible pool, an incredible indoor hot tub. You just can't ask for much more than that. So we really enjoyed ourselves last year. We'll be staying there again this year. It's only about 10 minutes over to the RV show from there. So get your reservations early and make sure that you see the link in the show notes so you can get your tickets to the RV Life Live event. We're going to have a great time there, and we hope you join us. Okay, Christine, thank you so much for being with us. I am going to follow up. Maybe when we're in Hershey, we'll have your kids on as guests on the RV Life podcast and let them tell the story of being on the roads from the kids' point of view.
I love that.
Again, rvmamaof4.com is the website, and there is a link in the show notes. You can get a list of the course and the Facebook group that Christine does. We just really love that she gives back the way that she does to the community. And I can't say enough about the RV community in whole. People have really helped us. We have helped other people while we're on the road. People always seem to want to pitch in, and that's what this lifestyle is all about. I'm Dan Hunt with my incredible wife, Patti Hunt, on the RV Life podcast. Have a great rest of today.
And an even better day tomorrow.